You've been with the organization for 5 years. How you got here doesn't matter anymore. Maybe you were ambitious, young and stupid, and didn't think far enough ahead. What matters is you're in. And being in means you know things. Names, routes, faces you were never supposed to see. It means you've moved packages that leaked dark fluid onto your truck's floor. And one night, scrubbing that floor at 2 a.m., arms burning, the smell not leaving, something inside you goes quiet, then loud. Enough. You're going to leave. Your first mistake is thinking it's that simple. You mentally draft a resignation letter. Dear boss, for personal reasons. You laugh alone in your apartment. The sound doesn't feel like yours. You already know. People don't quit. People disappear or people die. There's no middle ground, no severance, no handshake at the door. 2 exits, wooden box or pieces they never find. You start planning. In your head only. Never on paper, never online. They monitor searches. They monitor people. So you plan in the shower. In that hollow space between sleep and waking, when your mind runs loose. You need money, fake documents, a destination where they have no reach. Good luck finding one. They operate in 23 Mexican states. They have arrangements with Colombian cartels, the Italian mafia, the Chinese triads. The world is smaller than most people realize. When you're running from organized crime, you feel just how small. You start skimming. Small amounts, 5,000 pesos here, 10,000 there, never from the organization's funds. That's suicide. You take from your own earnings before they're handed over, a little extra off the top of commissions you're supposed to pass along, robbing a shark while you're still inside its mouth. 6 months, 200,000 pesos. It's something, it's not enough. It'll never be enough, but it's what you have. Your second mistake is trusting someone. His name is Marco. 2 years working together, moving shipments. He drives, you coordinate. You drink beers, complain about the bosses, feel almost like normal people. One night, 8 beers deep, you tell him you're tired, that you'd like to get out someday. Marco nods. We'd all like that, compa. You think it's solidarity. You don't notice his eyes shift. You don't see him pull out his phone the moment he excuses himself to the bathroom. You just signed a sentence you haven't learned to read yet. 3 days later, a meeting. The lieutenant, second in command, slides a cigarette across the table. You don't smoke. You take it anyway. How are you feeling? Stressed? Tired? You say you're fine. He smiles slowly. It's just that Marco says you seem off, says you've been talking about leaving. Your stomach turns to ice. You deny everything. Drunk talk, nonsense, nothing. The lieutenant nods, almost gently. Of course, but hey, take a few days off, rest up. When you walk out, you know. The clock started. You just don't know how much time is left on it. Marco disappears the following week. His mother puts up posters across the city. Have you seen Marco Lopez, smiling in a party photo, red cup in hand? You've seen Marco. Last time was 9 days ago, watching him climb into a black Suburban with 3 men in the back. You won't see him again. The lieutenant doesn't need to say a word. The message is delivered in silence. This is what happens to people who talk, even to people who listen. You stop dreaming. Literally, you train yourself not to because dreams make you say things. They assign you a bodyguard, Raul, for your protection, they say. He's your jailer. He follows you to the supermarket, the gym, your mother's house, catalogs everything. Who you speak to, how long you stay, what you carry when you leave. Once you'd try to go out without him. Where are you headed, boss? I'll come. Not a question. An order wearing a smile. You need documents. Everyone knows a guy. Yours is called El Chaparrito. Passports, birth certificates, licenses, clean work. He operates for multiple organizations. That should have been a warning. You hand over 50,000 pesos for a passport with your face, a stranger's name. 2 weeks, he says. In week 2, El Chaparrito makes the news. 2 bullets, head. Workshop burned to ash. Every file, every client record, gone. You stopped believing in coincidences about 3 years ago. Someone knows. Someone always knows. You find a GPS under your driver's seat, not one you installed. You leave it there. Removing it means admitting you found it. Your phone has started sounding wrong. Echoes, clicks, silences where there shouldn't be any. You sweep your apartment and find a small camera tucked behind the living room clock. You don't touch it. Now you live inside the performance of a man with nothing to hide. You move through your own home like an actor who forgot the script. The only room that might be clean is the bathroom. You run the shower just to think straight. You start researching at internet cafes, VPN, different machines, different neighborhoods, countries without extradition, witness protection in the United States. That last one pulls at you. Testify, get relocated, disappear into Iowa or Montana, stock shelves at Home Depot, become completely nobody. But you know the statistics. 15% of protected witnesses end up dead anyway. And the ones who survive spend the rest of their lives knowing the men they betrayed have brothers, cousins, sons, and none of them forget a face. Your paranoia reaches a new altitude and stays there. You stop eating at restaurants, you never visit the same store twice in a row, you change your route to work every single day. Knife under the pillow, gun in the drawer. Every morning you check the underside of your car before you turn the key. Your hands shake constantly. You've dropped 18 pounds in 2 months. Your mother asks if you're sick. You tell her it's work stress. You're not entirely lying. You meet someone. Her name is Patricia. She's a dentist, clean, warm, entirely outside your world. For 3 weeks, you're almost a person again. You tell her you're a logistics manager. She makes you laugh without trying. She makes you forget. Which is exactly why you ended. You give her some hollow excuse. I'm not ready. She cries. You want to, but you can't explain what you're actually doing, which is saving her life. Every day she spends near you is another day someone can use her as leverage. You've watched it happen. They take the girlfriend. They send a finger still wearing the ring you gave her. They tell you to cooperate or the next delivery is larger. You walk away. It's the most human thing you've done in years. You try a lawyer, top floor, the kind of office that signals safety. You lay it out in careful abstractions. A client has trouble with difficult associates. He understands immediately. The color leaves his face. I can't help you. Not with this. He pushes the 20,000 pesos back across the desk like they're on fire. Forget you were here. I already have. Even the men in glass towers know the reach. There's no institution high enough. The police cross your mind. The federales, someone official. But you know, 40% of municipalities have officers on payroll. You've personally watched your lieutenant share coffee and laughter with a state security secretary. Both of them easy, comfortable, patting each other on the back. Business, kid. It's all business. One last attempt. You travel to Tijuana. There's a Korean man who produces passports that pass any scanner. 80,000 pesos. Everything you've saved. The document he hands you is flawless. Your new name is Luis Hernandez. Born in Veracruz, 1989. Complete history. Birth certificate, CURP, RFC. You hide it inside the wall of your closet, behind a family photo. You just need the right moment. The right moment never comes. They hand you a large operation, 500 kilos, Sinaloa to Tijuana. You're the logistics coordinator. You can't refuse. We trust you, the lieutenant says. Trust sounds exactly like a threat. It is a test. Pass and you're more embedded than before. Fail and you're gone. You fail. Not your fault. An unexpected federal checkpoint. Officers who aren't on the payroll. Shots fired. 3 of your men dead. The shipment seized. You return empty, gutted. You know what happens to people who lose shipments. The meeting with the boss is at a ranch 3 hours outside the city. You spend the night before writing a letter to your mother you'll never send. He's calm when you arrive. Too calm. I understand it wasn't your fault. These things happen. One breath of relief. Then he opens a folder. Photos of your mother. Entering the market, leaving Sunday Mass, walking to her car.
Someone has to cover the loss, he says. We need guarantees. He doesn't finish the threat. He doesn't need to. Your mother becomes your chain. They assign a guard to her as well, for her protection. Your sister calls, frightened, asking why there are armed men outside her building. You invent a story about general threats. She doesn't believe you. She stops asking. Your whole family senses it. Nobody wants to know the details. You try anyway. Bus ticket to Mexico City, fake identity, onward to Colombia, then Spain. 30,000 pesos skimmed from a recent operation. It's not much. It's something. The night before you leave, Raul asks you, where are we going tomorrow? Your heart stops. I have the day off. He smiles. Me too. We should do something. You cancel the ticket in your head before you get home.
6 months pass. And a year. You develop ulcers. The doctor prescribes pills that don't work. You start smoking even though you always hated it, something to do with your hands when they shake. You've stopped planning escapes and started simply moving through days, operation to operation, keeping your head down and your breathing steady. They offer you a promotion, Central America, Guatemala. Expand the network, better pay, more responsibility, and farther from Mexico, farther from the thin threads of normalcy you're still clinging to. But maybe, if you're in Guatemala, there's a coast. From the coast, smaller countries, forgotten places, you accept. A trap with a 1% chance beats a cage with none. Guatemala City. The apartment is nice, 10th floor, view of the volcanoes, armed guards in the lobby. Your new bodyguard is a Guatemalan named Julio, enormous and quiet. He doesn't speak much. He doesn't have to. One night, Julio gets drunk, the first and only time you've seen him lower his guard. He tells you he has a son he hasn't seen in 2 years, that the money is good, but it takes everything else. You recognize yourself in his face. Have you ever thought about leaving? You ask. He looks at you with eyes that have filed away too much, all the time, but they know where my family lives. The conversation ends there. A phone call. Unknown number. You answer. The voice is electronic, distorted. We're watching you. We know what you want. Don't. They hang up. You throw the phone and grind it under your heel until it's fragments. You buy a new one. But the message is already in your bloodstream. Even the thought of escape has been detected. You know the truth. Everyone who's ever tried to leave eventually learns it. There's no way out. There's only the wait. Waiting to make a mistake. Waiting to become a liability. Waiting for someone younger and hungrier to make you unnecessary. This is what you learn in the end. You don't escape a cartel. You survive until they decide you've stopped being useful. And then you don't escape. You simply end. And if you're lucky, if there's any luck left in you at all, it's fast. That's the only freedom they haven't taken yet. The hope that it doesn't hurt too much.